Namaste. Hello out there. Hi, Gail. Welcome to Yoga Nidra for today. Not sure what your experience is with Yoga Nidra, so I'm just going to quickly go through my setup and explain a tiny bit, and then we'll get going. So there are lots of different ways to do Yoga Nidra. Recommended to be in a comfortable supine position. You don't have to be on the floor, but this is how I have set up my mat and the way I prefer to do Yoga Nidra. So I have my mat underneath, and then I spread out a blanket over top just for a little extra softness. I fold it over the blanket where my head is going to go. So I have a little bit beneath my head. Then I have a bolster beneath my legs, like under the knees. And then I have another blanket to put over myself and an eye pillow. Everything is optional. You can also lie on your bed, your couch, wherever you're comfortable. You want to be very comfortable, but maybe not so cozy as you would be if you're really going to go to sleep, right? So that's why I think the floor is a good option unless you're not comfortable on the floor. Then go onto your bed anywhere. An eye pillow or a little, washcloth, face towel, something to cover your eyes can be nice as well. So when we're doing Yoga Nidra, we're going into what's called the hypnagogic state. So this is between waking and sleeping. So the experience is different for everyone. You might feel like you're completely awake the whole time. You might just go to sleep and wake up at the end and be like, what just happened? Whatever happens is the right thing for you. So there's no need to worry like, oh, I shouldn't fall asleep or I should be feeling something different from what I'm feeling. Whatever happens is the right thing for you. So just let it happen without trying to overthink or overanalyze and put a name on everything. You might slip from one state to another while you're lying down, and that's normal too. If you ever notice that you've kind of lost the thread of what I'm talking about, what I'm saying, that's totally fine. You're still hearing everything on a subconscious level. And when you become aware of like, I don't know what, I lost track of what's going on, just pick up from that point and try to follow along as best you can from that point, and it'll be totally fine. So don't stress, because the name of the game is to get rid of stress. This is deeply relaxing, relieving your stress, and also, as we know, it's meditation for body positivity, which I'll talk about more in a moment. So if you're already sitting down, stay sitting. If you're standing up, like I am, we're going to do a little bit of movement that can be done standing or sitting. I'm just going to demonstrate standing. Then we'll sit down for a couple moments, and then we'll finally lie down and start the real Yoga Nidra part of the class. So if you're seated, just stay seated. If you're standing, separate the feet a little wide apart. And then we're just going to take big inhales, bringing the arms out to a wide V position with the palms facing forward. Big inhale, and then on your exhalation, just fold the hands. Try to bring your left hand in first and cross the hands on top of the heart center. And we're just repeating that a few times. So inhaling, wide V with the arms, and then exhale, left hand to the heart center. Any amount that you want to take it into a little bit of a back bend when the arms go out to the side, you can do that. It's not necessary, but if you would like to, you certainly can, and then just come upright again afterwards on the exhalation. Just do that a couple more times. Any amount, maybe tilting the face up, reaching back with the hands a little bit, and exhale. Next time, we're going to inhale the arms out into this wide V. And then on an exhalation, we'll just tip over to one side. Do either side first. So the arm that goes up, you're just going to stay there for about 3 breaths, really stretching that arm up. The other arm is just kind of angling down a bit. Just open up along the side of the body, letting those ribs spread apart, get a little extra breath into the side ribs. And then on an inhalation, come back to center. And then exhale, go to the other side. Same way, maybe 3 or so breaths, just taking a nice big side stretch. And then inhale up to center again. And exhale, just reach the arms straight out. So a big T position. We're just going to go into a twist, but we're not going to put the hands down on the floor or use any kind of leverage in this twist. It's just a really soft twist. So we're just going to kind of let the arms wrap around the body as you turn to one side. You can let the lower body twist a little bit. The pelvis can turn a little bit. So it's, not as specific as some of our yoga twists, just going side to side. So inhale when the arms are stretching out, and exhale, just letting the arms wrap around the body. And make sure you do maybe 3 or so times to each side. And then after that, come back to center. And now we'll take a forward fold. So if you're seated, maybe just walk the hands out on the floor in front of you. If you're standing, just have the feet parallel, bend the knees, and just lower yourself down and let the upper body just fold forward. Again, it's a little bit soft, a little bit, not as strictly aligned as a yoga forward fold. So it really depends on you, just taking it to a little soft forward fold. And then if you're standing, just walk your hands forward and come down to sit on the floor. If you're already seated, you're all set. And if you need to sit on something, that's totally fine as well. Your chair, bolster, blankets, whatever you need to sit. We're not going to sit too long. We're just going to stay for a few moments holding a mudra and working a little bit with the breath very, very simply. So the mudra I'd like to practice is Ida Mudra. And this is the mudra to tune into the lunar side. So you've heard of yin yang. Yin is the lunar side. In yoga philosophy, it's called the Ida Nadi, the lunar channel of the body. So that we're tuning into the parasympathetic nervous system. And we're getting away from the sympathetic nervous system. That's the one that, is the fight or flight nervous system. And the one that we exist in a lot during the day when we're just focused on doing stuff and accomplishing stuff. Going into the other side, we're thinking of just resting, being more contemplative, and not worrying about getting anything done. So this is the Yoga Nidra side. So we're not thinking in terms of what's logical. We're not thinking in a linear fashion. We're getting away from all that, putting that aside for the moment. So Ida Mudra is very simple. Both hands will touch the thumbs to the ring fingers. So that's all you do with the hands. And then we're going to place the hands in a specific way. So the left hand goes in front of the navel, palm facing up. And the right hand goes on top of it, about in front of the heart, palm facing down. So these 2 points of energy between the ring fingers and the thumbs are pointing towards each other, but not touching. And then just close your eyes or soften the gaze down towards the floor. If the hands become fatigued at any time, you can lower them to your lap. Otherwise, try to hold them in this position a few more breaths. And start to bring the awareness to the breath. As you sit still, the breath naturally slows down. But without forcing or striving to make the breath any particular way, just observe. Observing the sensation of the breath moving in and out of you. observing the quality of the breath for today. And then start to count, maybe 4 counts for the inhalation and 4 for the exhalation. So at first, starting with an even length of time for each part of the breath. Inhaling for 4, exhaling for 4. Let's continue breathing. I'll let you go and count on your own. Over the next few cycles of breath, start to lengthen out the exhale. So you've been counting 4 on your exhale. Try to count for 5, but keep the inhale at 4. So the exhalation is becoming a little bit longer. And you can make it even longer if that feels okay for you. Again, not striving or pushing, just gently coaxing the breath to take a little more time on the exhalation. After a couple more cycles of breath, you can lower your hands if you haven't already, and go back to your natural breath without trying to count or control the breath. And as I mentioned, of course, we know this is for Love Your Body Week, body positivity. And a big inspiration for me for this class and in general is this book, The Body Is Not an Apology, by Sonia Renee Taylor. So I just want to read a very short extract from this book. Starting, she talks about radical self-love as the antidote for body shame. What I also want you to know is that radical self-love is not an impossibility. It is not even a destination. It is your inherent sense of self. You came here to this planet as unapologetic radical love. Body shame depends on your amnesia for its survival. Making peace with your body is not about finding some obscure pathway to the peninsula of quote unquote liking my thighs. Making peace with your body is about awakening to who you have always been, the physical, spiritual, and energetic manifestation of radical self-love. Together, we will disrupt decades of tired body shame practices using the only map we have ever needed for this journey, a map back to ourselves. So with that, I invite you to lie down into your chosen spot for Yoga Nidra. Making sure, again, that you're comfortable enough to lie still for a while, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Taking the time to put that extra blanket or any other layers you might like to have to keep yourself warm. It's very hard to relax if you're feeling chilly, so I always have that extra blanket handy. And then once you're lying down on your back, getting any props or your eye pillow, anything else that seems appropriate, take a moment to place the arms down on the floor out to your sides, turning the palms up if that's comfortable, and then press down a little bit with the elbows so that you can tuck the shoulders under your back a little bit and feel length come to the back of your rib cage. You might need to lengthen the lower back as well. If it feels like you need to do that, bring the knees up towards the chest for a moment to lengthen the lower back. Tuck the chin slightly down towards the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. And then roll the head side to side a few times to make sure you're lengthening the neck and releasing any tension. So as we start to move towards our state of Yoga Nidra, first we'll be doing an exercise, moving the awareness throughout the whole body. Imagine that starting on your forehead. There's a sensation of a warm, fragrant oil slowly being poured onto your face. Let the warmth of this oil start to spread over the entire face, the right eye, the left eye, the right cheek, the left cheek, the nose, the upper lip, the lower lip, and your chin. Let the warm oil spread to either side of your head, to the right ear and the left ear. It slowly spreads also to the jawline, helping the jaw relax. The mouth becomes soft and so relaxed. There might be a little space between your lips. Let the warm oil continue moving down the neck, the front and sides, reaching to your collarbone. Let the warm oil start to spread to your right shoulder. And let the warmth soak through the shoulder joint. Continuing down the upper arm. Let the warm oil coat the whole upper arm to the right elbow. And then moving to the forearm. Let the warm oil spread all over the skin of the arm to the wrist, coating the back of the hand. And then each finger, the right thumb, the right index finger, the right middle finger, the right ring finger, the right pinky finger, and continuing to the palm of the hand. Going back to your collarbone, let the warm oil spread to the left side, to the left shoulder, and wrap around the entire shoulder joint. Moving slowly to the upper arm, letting the warm oil spread over the skin all the way around the arm, reaching the elbow joint, and then reaching to the forearm. The warm oil spreads all over the arm, all the way to the wrist, to the back of the left hand. And finally moving into each finger of the left hand, the left thumb, the left index finger, the left middle finger, the left ring finger, the left pinky finger, and finally moving to the palm of the hand. So now both palms hold a little pool of this warm, fragrant oil. And then your awareness comes back to the top of the chest. From the collarbone down, let the warm oil start to spread to cover the front of the chest, from the sternum to the sides, underneath the arms. Let the warm oil start to spread down to the abdomen, covering the whole belly, to the navel, and then continuing to the lower belly, all the way to the top of each thigh. Let the warm oil start to move down the right leg, the front of the thigh, the inner thigh, the hamstring, the outside of the thigh, going all the way to the knee joints, letting the warm oil wrap around the knee joint, the warm ace bandage, and then continuing, let the warm oil spread to the lower leg, covering the skin of all sides of the lower leg. All the way to your right ankle. Again, wrapping around the ankle. Finally spreading to the top of the right foot. Coating the skin of the top of the foot. And then moving into each toe. The right big toe, second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the pinky toe. And let the oil wrap all the way to the sole of the foot. So the whole right leg, from the hip joint to the sole of the foot, is coated with warm, fragrant oil. And then bring your awareness to the top of the left thigh. And let the warm oil start to spread all over the left thigh, the front of the thigh, inner thigh, the back of the thigh, and the outside of the thigh, reaching all the way to the knee joint. Letting the warm oil wrap around the knee joint. And then finally spreading to the left lower leg, coating the skin, all sides of the left lower leg, moving all the way to the ankle, wrapping around the ankle. And then moving to the top of the left foot, coating the skin, and then moving into each toe, the left big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the pinky toe. So the whole left leg, from the hip joint to the sole of the foot. Let the warm oil cover all parts of the left leg and the left foot. Bring the awareness all the way back up to the neck. Letting the warm oil now spread all the way to the back of the neck and up the back of the head and the top of the head. And from the back of the neck, the warm oil spreads down the back of your body, upper back, the spine, the lower back, all the way to your sacrum. Let the warm oil wrap around the sacrum and the pelvis, back, sides, and front, soaking into the hip joints. Feeling the warmth of the oil covering the skin of your entire body now. Focus on the sensations on your skin with the warm oil coating all of your skin. The oil starts to seep into the skin, soaking all the way through the flesh, even into the bones and the organs. Notice the relaxing warmth enveloping your body from the outside in. Let's start counting our breaths backwards from 11. So the first breath, inhale and exhale, 11. Then continue on your own. Inhale and exhale, 10, etc. If you lose track of which number you are on, just go back to 11 and start again. Notice again the warmth enveloping you. You are floating in a warm, dark place. You're in a time when you always feel this way. There is no separation between yourself and your surroundings. All your needs are met with no effort. All is ease. You can move when you want to move. You can rest when you want to rest. You never feel hunger or thirst. All is sattvic or perfectly balanced. Experience floating in this warm, dark place. You are safe. Time changes, something happens. There is light and movement. You take your first breath. You find your voice. You feel hunger and thirst for the first time. Now, when you are hungry, you cry. You don't apologize for creating a disturbance. You need sustenance. You deserve sustenance. You're hungry and you tell the world. When you feel like moving, you move your body with abandon. Your arms, your legs, whatever you feel like moving, you move. without worrying whether you are doing it right or how it looks. You see an object in front of you and you try to grab it with your hand. You don't stop to think about whether you deserve that object. You see it and you reach for it. When you are tired, you rest. There is no separation between your mind and your body. You are still sattvic. You accept loving touch as your due. You are still safe. Your spirit is pure and powerful. You love yourself completely and with complete ease. You embody love. You are a miracle. That miracle that is you continues to exist. Pure and powerful spirit within you continues. Nurture the spirit within you so that it can remain strong. May this meditation bring you peace and equanimity. At the sound of the bell, you'll start to bring your awareness back into the physical space around you. Start by taking deeper, longer breaths. Keeping the eyes closed. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Continuing with deeper breaths. Bend your knees and slowly roll over onto your right side if possible. And rest on your side for several breaths. The eyes can stay closed throughout. And when you are ready, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed as much as possible. And when you're sitting up, bring the hands to touch lightly in front of you. Raise the hands so the thumbs are in front of your third eye center. And gently press the tips of the thumbs into the third eye center, slightly above the ridge of your brow bone. Lower the hands, cross one hand on top of the other at the top of your sternum. And take 2 to 3 breaths, pressing lightly. And then lower the hands to the solar plexus. Still one hand on top of the other. Press lightly again here with a couple breaths. And then lower the hands to the roots of the thighs, heels of the hands pressing straight down. At the same time, take the tip of the tongue and press on the roof of the mouth, right on the ridge behind your front teeth. And then release the pressure. Touch the hands again in front of the heart center. Let's inhale to lift the heart towards your hands. And then exhale, bow the head towards the heart. Inhale, lifting the face. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. It was really quite a beautiful process for me to plan this class. It really means a lot to me. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll end the class now, but we have the cool down room if you can stay to chat. Otherwise, thank you for coming to class. See you next time.